If you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing.
Now, as everybody in the United States and around the world has heard, Donald Trump has just recently put an end to the India and Pakistan conflict. Way to go, Trump. And how do we know this? Because he said it, and we believe him. And just like we all know as well that Trump was the first man on the moon, Trump was the one who ended slavery, defeated Hitler, all while he did our laundry and folded our clothes for us last night while we slept. And we know it's true because he told us it's true, so it has to be true. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to see you today on the Speak and See Show. Please like, subscribe, and click that notification button so when we get information out, you can get information in. I heard somebody say the other day, how do you say it? It's Speak and See. Speak and See. Well, Speak and See. Okay. Anyway, so we got that. Now, with Trump flaunting his greatness for maintaining peace all around the world and stability, we love it. We love it. It's great, Trump. We're glad that, I'm sure you did make a phone call. We're not denying that Rubio had made a call to Pakistan and Vance had made a call to India, and I'm sure they helped. They probably got in there and tried to soften up the situation, but did they end it? No, it didn't happen like that. But anyway, we're going to let you know how it did happen. If this thing wasn't nipped at the bud, it would give media outlets another 2 or 3 years of headlines about the ongoing huge war in Pakistan versus India. It could divide and manipulate people into hating one another and having a valuable reason for purpose and justice for the people to feel justified and which side they took. Just kind of like other wars we know about. Pick a side, choose a side, and take your team. So the popularity is usually focused on who's fighting the war, where it's at, and why they're fighting the war. And so you pick a team, you decide, I think this team has more legitimate reasons for fighting than this one. These people are wrong. These people are right. Well, that's the way it goes usually. However, in this case, the popularity should be on, wow, it ended so fast. What if all wars would stop this fast? There wouldn't be any, right? But they don't. And when they do, we got to realize that that's a much greater power and authority. And who made it stop than who's right and who's wrong while it's going on. But because the conflict ended so fast, it gets washed up under the rug and people start taking credit for it getting washed up under the rug, flaunting, manipulating others into thinking that, well, hey, I stopped the war. I'm a peaceful person. When really, not really. When in all actuality, we need to be giving credit where credit is due. And that credit goes to Modi and the people of India for ending this thing so fast and abruptly. And not only that, but handling the situation of terrorism in the region with strikingly good accuracy and just saying, boom, we did it. We're out. Don't let it happen again with a terrorist strike in Pahalgam. Now, if we could all just get along, please. That's such a victory in itself, wouldn't you say? What if we were to have that victory in Ukraine? Or what if we were to have that kind of a victory in Israel? Well, in order to have that kind of victory, you need that kind of leader, that kind of mindset. So when you got guys like Jaishankar and Modi in power, and they're the ones stopping the war, first of all, let's go ahead and, before I get going on this, I want to paint everybody the picture on what Trump has just told the President Ramaphosa of South Africa, how he had a big part in ending the India war. And then we're going to go off, and then we're going to show you what Jaishankar has just said about what Donald Trump said, and you let me know how you feel. Go ahead and roll that clip.
If you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through trade. We're doing a big deal with India, we're doing a big deal with Pakistan, and I said, what are you guys doing? You know, somebody had to be the last one to shoot, but the shooting was getting worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries, and we spoke to them, and I think I hate to say we got it settled, and then 2 days later, something happens, and they say it's Trump's fault, but Pakistan has got some excellent people and some really good, a great leader. And India is my friend, Modi. And he's a
mutual friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I called them both, and we just did something good. We're trying to settle Russia, Ukraine.
So clearly Trump wants a little bit of credit for it. Well, sure, thanks for the phone calls, Trump, but Modi has once already told you he'll handle his situation his way, and he did. Now, I want to go over to the Jaishankar interview where he was just asked the question, did Donald Trump and the United States help you in solving the issue with the conflict with Pakistan? Here's what Jaishankar had to say.
Look, I think where we had the recent fighting between India and Pakistan. First of all, you got to understand what it was about. Okay, it started because it was triggered by a very barbaric terrorist attack in the Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir, where 26 tourists were murdered in front of their families after ascertaining their fate. And it was done in a way in which it was intended to harm tourism, which is the mainstay of the Kashmir economy, and to create a religious discord.
The operation you mentioned, it's still ongoing.
We hit 8 air bases. We basically made those air bases non-functional. We hit their runways, we hit their command centers. I mean, if
As
you look,
part of an operation that is still ongoing.
Yeah.
Why?
So, no, hang on. Let me explain. That if there are acts of the kind we saw on April 22nd, there will be a response. We will hit the terrorists. If the terrorists are in Pakistan, we will hit them where they are. So there is a message in continuing the operation. But continuing the operation is not the same as firing on each other. Right now, there is an agreed cessation of firing and military action.
So the operation is dormant, if you like.
Put whatever word you want to, but I can tell you the message is clear. And the message is active.
And for some reason, both armies were able to talk to each other, initiated by the Pakistani army?
Yes. We have a mechanism to talk to each other as a hotline.
Yep.
So on the 10th of May, it was the Pakistani army which sent a message that they were ready to stop firing, and we responded accordingly.
And where was the US in this process?
Well, the US was in the United States. I mean, obviously there were US Secretary of State Rubio and Vice President Vance had called up. Rubio had spoken to me. Vance had spoken to our Prime Minister. They had their view, and they were talking to us, and they were talking to Pakistanis, as indeed were some other countries.
Yep.
I mean, the United States was not alone in this. I think there were some countries in the Gulf, there were some others as well. That happens naturally. When two countries are engaged in a conflict, it is natural that countries in the world call up and ask and try to sort of indicate concern and what they can do in such a situation. But the ceasefire, the cessation of firing and military action was something which was negotiated directly between India and Pakistan. We made one thing very clear to everybody who spoke to us, not just United States, but to everybody, saying, look, if the Pakistanis want to stop firing, they need to tell us. We need to hear it from them. Their general has to call up our general and say this. And that is what happened.
So there it is, straight from the horse's mouth, that it was India that solved this problem, and there was a secret hotline on the phone. Did Donald Trump and Rubio and Vance play a part in having Pakistan, getting Pakistan to call them up and say, hey, let's end this thing? Probably. But what played a bigger part? That, or that India was literally demolishing all of Pakistan's air bases? I don't know. I can tell you what I would think would play the bigger part, but it's not about what I think. It's about what you think. That's why you're going to tell me down below in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching. Once again, please like and subscribe to the Speak and See show. We appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one. Have a blessed day. God is good. See you on the next one. Bye.